Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're having a great and wonderful day. Well, today we're going to be talking about specifically what's going on in California and the immense price hike, which is $30 for minimum wage, that is going to be going on to these companies. And we have already seen the downfall and the actual backfiring of all this when they raised the minimum wage to $20 an hour, and how so many companies just decided to fire people. Well, they're going to do this again, and it's going to be even worse than even before. And it's not going to be good. This is all a detriment. So without further ado, here we get into it. So again, we're going to do a slight bit of recap, because we're going to do this here where we have California's $20 minimum wage hike cost state 18,000 jobs. A new study published by the National Bureau of Economic Research this month found that California's 2023 minimum wage hike cost the state thousands of jobs. Researchers found that the state's $20 minimum wage fast food hike has cost the fast food sector 18,000 jobs since it went into effect in April 2024, representing a 3.26% decline in that sector compared to fast food sectors in other parts of the country. Our median estimate translates into a loss of 18,000 jobs in California's fast food sector relative to the counterfactual. Researchers Jeffrey Clemens, Olivia Edwards, and Jonathan Meir wrote in their paper. The California Assembly passed AB 1228. Jesus, I cannot speak English, ladies and gentlemen. What the hell? In September 2023, which established the state's fast food council and its ability to set and adjust the sector's minimum wage. Additionally, the bill signed into law by California Gavin Newsom the following April established a new minimum wage for the fast food workers, which was previously $16 an hour. The hourly minimum wage for the fast food restaurant employees shall be $20 per hour, effective April 2024. Thereafter, the council may establish a pursuant to the subdivision minimum wages for fast food restaurant employees that take effect on an annual basis beginning on January 1st, 2025, text of the bill read. So what we have here is that Gavin Newsom is pretty much costing thousands of jobs in California. Like, you cannot get a guy that is worse for this state than anybody else. Like, you have a guy that shut down the entire state of California for an entire year, where it was completely dystopian and authoritarian. Then you had him, you have multiple fires that he hasn't done. The whole PG&E debacle here back in California specifically, where people have died and lost their homes. He pretty much bailed them out, so they're allowed to do their reign of terror yet again. And then you have it to where you had another fire that happened in California. Probably the more important one, obviously, would be the Palisades fire. And even then he messed that up, because he was going to take these people's homes and sell them pretty much to the government so that we could build their own Sector 8 housing. So, like, I don't see how this is even remotely a good guy, and there's so many other things. And by the way, when I go around California, not a lot of people like him. There is a whole bunch of people that dislike this guy. So it says here, the research found that in the year since the bill went into law, California's fast food employment contracted while fast food employment around the country expanded. Following the AB 1228's enactment, employment in the fast food sector in California fell substantially, with sentiments ranging from 2.3 to 3.9% across specifications, even as employment in other sectors of the California economy tracked national trends, the researchers stated, noting that employment in the same sector increased about 0.10% around the country. Yeah, so this is bad. Now we have this, right? We have this: the hotel owners go to war with super liberal city after it gives green light to $30 an hour minimum wage. Los Angeles Democratic leaders are banking on a tourism boom, but a planned $30 minimum wage for hotel staff has owners seeing red. As the city gears up to host the 2026 FIFA World Cup and the 2028 Summer Olympics, a new law aimed at raising hotel workers' pay has sparked high-stakes clash between unions and the travel industry. Hotels with more than 60 rooms must pay workers at least $25 an hour from July, rising to $30 for the Olympics under the bill signed by Mayor Karen Bass. Supporters may say the law is overdue, noting that a single adult in LA County now needs around $28 an hour just to cover basic expenses. Hotel workers often live paycheck to paycheck and are frequently forced to work 2 or 3 jobs, the measure reads. That's a problem with the LA, and that's something that they have to address. Making things go up to $30 an hour and then losing your huge amount of employers and stuff like that is not good, which we'll get into as well. But business leaders warn the wage hikes could devastate the city's tourism economy. Rosanna Mayetta, CEO of the American Hotel and Lodging Association, blasted the plan as economically disastrous, arguing it could crush profits, push up room rates, and ripping through restaurants, event venues, and small businesses that rely on tourism. Almost immediately after the law's passage, a coalition of hotels and travel groups gathered over 100,000 signatures to pause it and force a voter referendum, likely in June 2026. Yeah, so as you can see here, these people are absolutely angry. And rightfully so, because again, this is just going to lead down to more job losses, more thousands of people out of the job, and potentially even fleeing the state. There's already a mass exodus happening in California as it is. If you want to push that mass exodus even further, do this, and people are going to be forced to have to either leave the actual county in itself and go to other places in California where the minimum wage is not necessarily $30, or they're going to leave California altogether because there's not going to be any job that wants to hire them that's going to pay them $30 an hour. It's asinine. Now the petition itself is at the center of a legal battle, as unions for hotel workers allege that the signatures were inappropriately collected. Several California lawmakers signed an open letter echoing the concerns and demanding that signature collection efforts stop. Depending on how the legal challenges pan out, the minimum wage fight could be decided by vote in June 2026. Wage hikes could cut into profits at some LA most popular lodges. Hotel prices for FIFA are expected to jump dramatically during the FIFA finals and Olympic Games. DailyMail.com found a Holiday Inn that typically charges around $150 to $200 a night. In the week leading up to the end of the FIFA tournament, the same hotel is charging between $490 to $550 for the same room. That's ludicrous. I wouldn't pay that much money for a hotel. Like, that's insanity. Unless I'm like, one of those very, very fancy hotels, right? Like maybe the Atlantis in Nevada. But I wouldn't go to a hotel like this. The Olympics have similar price jumps. Paris, the 2024 Olympic host, saw average hotel prices jump 26% during the games. California's minimum wage sits at $16.50 an hour. Meanwhile, California's other industry-specific minimum wage laws have already sparked automation, higher wages, services, and service changes, and restructuring. Yeah, because why would you have hire people when you can just have robots do it for free? There's no actual legitimate reason to do this. And this is going to cost thousands and thousands of jobs. And again, this is another big deal, right? Oh my god. So we have this here. So don't worry, we got to do our medicine. So, nope, got to do this. Okay. Give us a moment. So, we have this here, guys. See, we have this here where alcohol giant lays off 1,750 workers after abruptly quitting businesses in California. So we have this here. America's second largest alcohol distributor is laying off more than 1,700 employees after announcing it is pulling out of business in California. Republican National Distributing, a once-dominant company that linked famous beer and vodka brands with local bars, filed paperwork to lay off 1,756 employees. Staffers in sales, analytics, and HR roles across California are set to get their pink slips. The job cuts are coming as a Texas-based company plans to shutter its distribution operations in California by September 22nd. It's the latest warning sign for an industry that's already struggling with closures and job losses as Americans increasingly cut back on alcohol. There are reportedly 3 main reasons for the statewide departure: increasing debt, sky-high costs, and a loss of important contracts to competitors. Republican National has not suggested that politics have played a role in its decision, but it is reinvesting in Texas with 100 new jobs. See, again, this is a miniature boom for Texas, where they get more jobs and more people are going to be able to be hired, etc. Where California, it just seems to fall flat. So Texas gets 100 new jobs, right? While California takes a huge net loss and loses 1,756 jobs. This is not a good thing. This is really, really bad for California. California's job sector is completely collapsing. President and CEO Bob Henderson said this decision is driven by rising operational costs, industry headwinds, and supplier changes that made the market unsustainable. He added that the company is using this moment to sharpen our focus and reinvest in the markets where we best positioned to grow. California remains a conundrum for business leaders. Business in the state makes more money than any other U.S. market. It's the fourth largest economy in the world, but also one of the most expensive places to do business. But entering that market remains critically expensive with high gas, rent, and labor costs. Republic acquired Young's Market, a distributor with a complex web of local hubs, in 2022. But company insiders weren't impressed with the Republic National's attention to details. They started focusing on numbers instead of customer satisfaction, and that's what drove them to their fall. A former worker claimed the company was terribly run and its execs were in over their heads in the Golden State. Recently, the company also lost some of its most important contracts. Jack Daniels, Tito's, and High Noon all moved their businesses over to Reyes Beverage Group, a distributor with a long history in California. That's not good too. So again, what we're seeing here is that businesses in California are either joining other businesses for leaving, which means a lot of these companies are dropping their jobs. They're just leaving. They're firing people and losing this. This is what happens when you have Democrats in power, or what liberals want to do to keep voting. And I had somebody like this, by the way. I had somebody like this that said, "Oh well, the rich people are the problem. They have to get rid of them." And what? It's like, okay, you're idiots. So I agree that in some cases we have to tax the rich. I mean, that makes sense. We have to tax them. We cannot just not tax them. We have to tax them. However, taxing them too much is an issue because they'll leave. So here's the thing: when you tax a government, when you have a rich person, right? They mostly means that that means they mostly have either jobs or corporations, etc., that or businesses that supply jobs to the people, right? And these people get hired by these rich corporations or by these businesses that have a lot of that are rich. They can actually supply and give money to people, so that way these people can go out and live lives because they don't have the money or the backing or whatever to support to get their own business. If you remove the rich people and tax them too much, they're going to take their businesses elsewhere and move them over to another country or state, and that is an economic downfall because that means there's no more jobs being supplied in that area, which means no people can get money, which means there's no economic boom or movement going around because people can't pay for things because people don't have money to do it because they don't have a job. It's all a correlation of it's a complete collapse of just when you tax businesses too high where they can't afford things. And this is what's happening here. California is making minimum wage $30. The businesses can't afford this amount to give to people, so they have to close out shop, and they're taking their jobs and their business with them, therefore making a huge issue to California. This is not good, and I think California is going to be done. People are going to have to leave, and I don't blame them. You have to find places for a better pasture if you're having businesses leave and you can't find work. And you're going to see a bigger mass exodus happening again soon in California, even though there's already one that's happening, just because of the actual reason that's been going on here. So, as of May, California is doomed. It's been doomed from the start. It's just Democrats and their liberal policies are making it worse, and it's jeopardizing them. Alright guys, that's it for the video. Like, subscribe, share, and as always, take care, my friends.